What's up, guys? It's Nora. Today I'm back to share with you guys that I am switching off of Remicade. This is not something that I figured wasn't not gonna happen. It's actually something that I've been wanting to do for the past, I think, 6 months to a year. I've kind of seen this trend on my Facebook support groups of not just like people or patients in the United States with the insurance companies in the United States, but people in Canada and other countries having problems with insurance companies or healthcare facilities, depending on how their healthcare system works, not wanting to cover specifically named brands like Remicade or the more popular biologics, like I think Entyvio is another one that they haven't wanted to cover because companies are now coming out with biosimilars that are much cheaper to make, and that creates a problem for these insurance companies who do not want to spend as much money to have patients be covered for these certain drugs. So I've been seeing this happening around, and I figured at some point I owe Cigna that Cigna was going to say we don't want to cover you anymore. When that point was, I didn't know. I wasn't sure if maybe GI could fight it or would want to fight it. If it's a whole company thing and it's all company wide, then I think there's probably GIs are going to be less likely to want to fight it. If I was still a pediatric GI, they would fight the daylights out of it. Which, I mean, like, I understand for people who have been on Remicade like me, if it's been working and the drug is keeping you healthy, why would you switch it? Which is the problem people are having. But in reality, I don't know if the drug has kept me healthy. I mean, no one really knows unless, like, there's no way to tell, oh, you were going to have a flare and the Remicade prevented it. So I've also gone 2 or 3 years medicationless and had no problems or no flares. So that's why I question why if the drug has really ever worked for me. That being said, with my problems of being a hard stick, I've kind of been wanting to move away from the IV infusions, and in the future, especially if I want to move to another country or go on vacation somewhere, it'd be so much easier to have an injection. Now, Cigna did say they would be willing to treat drugs like, I think it's Asacol or Inflectra, but I don't want to do infusions anymore. So when I got the letter finally last week that they weren't going to cover my Remicade, or they needed a real good reason for them to cover it starting in July, I decided to take that opportunity and ask GI, hey, can I get off infusions? It doesn't really matter, honestly, what drug you take, as long as, of course, it works for you or you don't have a reaction to it. In the beginning, when I was going to be switching to biologics, I had specifically chosen to do Remicade because I didn't think I would have the heart or soul to give myself a shot. But because I'm hard stick and how much I feel like I've destroyed my veins and how anxious I am just to go into an infusion now, and then it takes, in total 2 or 3 hours for me to go and get the infusion, including traveling time, the time it takes for them to put an IV, get my vitals, infuse me, and then for me to get my stuff and go back home. That's a lot of time that I've had to take out of my work days or my days off. And in reality, if you give yourself an injection, it's 10 seconds out of your day. So much quicker, and I mean, you're getting poked both ways, just kind of different mechanism. So I have decided, I asked GI, certain GI specialists have certain drugs that they'd like you to try after you go off Remicade. So they may say, okay, if you're off Remicade, this is the one we would like you to try next. That's the one they recommend. Phoebe has decided to start digging while I'm filming. If you can hear that, I'm sure you can. So I contacted GI, they said, oh, we'll put you on Inflectra if you want. And I said, well, is there any chance I could do an injectable? I wasn't sure if, because Remicade is the one that Cigna doesn't want people on anymore, if they'd say the same thing for Humira, because that's the other big common drug. But I guess she said that she's had no problems with people being on Humira. I'm gonna try and switch to the syringe versus the pen. I've heard what people have said, both sides who use both, and even way back when I was deciding to go on either Remicade or Humira, I had decided to myself that I would prefer the syringe probably. That being said, I don't know if my loading doses, I think because adults loading doses are 3 injections, I don't know if my loading doses can be syringes or if they have to be the pen. So we'll see, but I am hopefully going to soon be switching to Humira. My doctor has not really been that hot messaging me back the next week. I might call her on Monday, but that is pretty much the big news. I'm no longer going to be on Remicade. I'm excited to not have to go through all of that stress of being stuck and possibly not getting access on me. I also plan on doing a video for my loading doses or my first injections, as long as it's not in an office. I don't know if they're going to make me go in the office to do it, or if they're going to let me do it at home, but I'm super excited for this change. We'll see which place I like to inject myself more, whether it's the thigh or the stomach. I'm thinking it's probably going to be my stomach, but we'll have to see, and I hope you guys will stay tuned for that whenever I get the drugs. I don't know how soon I'm going to get them. I technically still have another infusion scheduled for like the second or third week in June. I don't know if they're going to say, hey, let's just stitch that and do the Humira, or if they're going to say, let's do the last one and then do the Humira after that. We'll have to see, but thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.